So hello people, this is the grumpy old bass player talking at you. I thought I'd make a video about my room here that I haven't finished yet, but put together pretty quick for the band, I guess. We started playing or practicing together since January. It's just a cover band. Everybody has regular jobs, and you know, we want to play well, but we're only going to get out maybe once or twice a month, something like that. Not really doing it for the money, even though we would like to get paid, but more for just getting out to play. Anyways, so I did a little video of this room here, my music room as it sits at the moment. This is where you've been seeing any videos up to this point you've been watching has been done in here. It's an attic space on my house, second floor. It was set up to be a bedroom, a possible bedroom in the future, and it still is set up that way. I just, right now figured it'll work well for what I need to use it for, a music room. It is insulated in the floor, which is over the dining room, so it doesn't bother my wife and my mother-in-law that much when we play. Generally they're out of the house anyway, so it doesn't affect them that much. You'll see that I've insulated pretty much the whole walls and all that, and so far what I've done for some soundproofing is I've got those rubber mats you can buy at Lowe's or Home Depot that you would use to anti-fatigue mats, you could say. They're like a rubber mat. They're puzzle piece maps where you put them together and cover an area in the floor. I guess one day I'll get carpet. At this point I don't want to bother with carpet because this is always going to be more of a room just for music, and people will be coming in and out, and when I go to sell the house eventually I'll probably put carpet in. Someone can use it for a bedroom. Another thing you'll see in the video is I bought sound blankets from Vocal Booth to Go. They're in Maryland. My wife happened to be up there during Christmas time, and she picked up a pack of 6, I think it was the deal. They're producer choice blankets. They're pretty heavy. I mean, for a blanket, they're quite a bit heavier than a moving blanket, and the size is nice. They're 8 feet tall and I think 10 feet long. So I'm probably covering about close to 36 feet of wall. Basically separating the living space from this room, and the other walls right now that aren't covered are exterior walls, so it doesn't bother as much the people in the house. I find though that it doesn't really soundproof anything. I mean, it does deaden it somewhat, but it helps the room a lot. This has got vaulted ceiling in it and some square corners and whatnot, and the blankets actually help with the sound in the room. I'm not getting the reflection or the reverb that you would normally get with just a hard room with a lot of square walls and whatnot. They actually threw in 2 I guess their version of a bass trap, which is basically just the same thing. Some blankets that's not as wide. That's maybe 16 inches wide and about 8 feet tall. It's got some Velcro so I can put them in the corner and make them work somewhat for bass traps, but I don't have a spot right now to use them, so I'm not using them. I actually have used one of them to cover the guitar amp with the microphone to keep from sound bleeding into the microphone. I'll make another video one day in which I'll explain a lot of the equipment, the way it's set up. It's kind of trial and error for me right now. The PA system works well in the area. Obviously, I've got a lot more power than is needed, but I'm trying to find ways of making the overall use of this room quieter, and at the same point getting a good quality sound. And in that aspect, I have gone to a headphone monitoring system. I'll explain that equipment later. I don't know why I didn't look into this earlier on when I was playing, but this is all relatively new to me. I've only been playing bass for 3 years, a little over 3 years. Started with a church that needed a bass player, didn't know how to play, borrowed someone's old Squire Bullet bass, and just started playing. Thanks to the church for allowing me to do that. It was a new church. They were looking for people to help out, and I decided, well, what the heck, I'll go help out. And because of that, I've learned to start playing an instrument. The guitar is basically belonged to my son. He's a guitar player. He plays in a band, another cover band that actually does pretty well in the area and gets paid pretty decent, and plays 100 plus shows a year. He's played in several local bands, but he's past that now. And obviously, the original band, local in rock and roll, is a really tough battle. Maybe one day he'll get back into it. So, anyways, I made a video which we'll cut to, and I'll show the kind of the room that this is. It's not a huge room. Right now we've got 4 people playing in the band. Tomorrow night's practice we've got a 5th person coming, so hopefully it won't get too crowded. I do have heat and air in here, which makes it comfortable. The sound, like I said, the drums right on. I am playing my bass. I have the MXR Bass DI Plus on my little pedal board down here at the bottom, in which I'm playing it through the PA and using my sub for my bass amp, which has got an 18-inch speaker, which I love the sound, but it transfers through the house like crazy. So I'm hoping the headphone thing will keep everybody happy. Let's get on with the video of the room. So this is the house in construction. This was about a year and a half ago, and this is a finished house. Yeah, not really. This is the unfinished area up in the attic, which I was using at the time. Had some equipment set up. And this is standing in the actual room now. It was nice that everything was framed during the original construction, so all I needed to do was add the electrical, some heating and air, some insulation, sheetrock, and whatnot to finish the room. These are just different spaces I had. This is where I added a return air, which helps a lot with the circulation. Insulation is never a fun thing to do. It's itchy. It's hard to breathe. Yeah, the fiberglass gets everywhere. Can't stand it. But I've been in construction a long time, and I generally know what to do. This is sheetrock. Just after I hung it, and this is the way the room pretty much sits now. As you can see, I really haven't finished the whole room. That's a closet back there in the corner, so I don't know what I'm going to do yet, because I'm thinking of making a vocal booth or a isolation booth for some amps. As I come around, that is the dormer where the window sits. I have a blanket in front of that, a sound blanket, and the drummer sits back in there. He has a monitor if he wants to use a monitor, or we've also got a headphone system, which we like to use a lot for monitoring to keep the noise down in the house. As you can see, I haven't painted over there yet, but I did paint down those walls because I was putting in a desk for the computer when I was going to be bringing it up, and hung some guitars on the wall, the basses that I normally play. As you can see, that's my son's Dr. Z amp. That's my rack with equipment that we use for sound. It's my desk that hangs on the wall, which is a good size. Not too big. Using an Apple. There's the basses I play and a couple guitars that get used occasionally, but he generally is playing some other ones now. Other people in the band. It's some of the sound blankets. I had bought 6 from Vocal Booths to Go. That's a door that leads to the unfinished part of the attic. We do have a keyboard here, but we don't have a keyboard player currently. My sub is back there in the corner. You don't see it very well. And there's one of my uppers, which the other one's on the other side. As you can see, pretty much line that wall with blankets. That's the door that leads to the hall, and that's the blanket that's pulled over when it goes to the hall to help control the noise level. This is the unfinished part of the attic that's behind that door that I showed you earlier. Just miscellaneous stuff, cases, parts, whatnot, household items. And then over in this little whole area over here, we have a lot of little extra amps, line 6, little Fender Champion 600, carbon, some cabinets, some different miscellaneous stuff, pedals for music, gig bags, drum bags, and whatnot. And then over here, some more household items, and then the printer, which I use occasionally. Well, as you've seen in the video, the room is pretty much in rudimentary shape. I haven't finished parts of it, painting and whatnot. I took a week off during Christmas from work, which I have a construction job to do the sheetrock work, the insulation of sheetrock, whatnot, and I still need to get my inspections. We did the electrical. I painted the ceiling. I got the painted ceiling done because I wanted to hang the blankets up, which came without any type of fastening system except for the tracks. We paid extra for that. What we did to hang the blankets up what I did was I got some wall anchors and some hooks and just drilled them into the ceiling. They're about every foot apart or something like that. There's a hook that helps hold the blanket. It keeps it off the wall about 2 inches, creates a dead space. The one in front of the window works the same way. It just happened to be a perfect fit wall to wall, which is great. Kind of missed not getting the light through that window. I'll probably get some sort of tie back eventually, I guess, and open it up during the summer months or something, so we can get some decent light in here. There are 5 LED light disc lights in this room, so it's well lit. The closet's got a light. I've got some extra plugs in that unfinished closet. Like I said, I haven't decided whether I'm going to make that a vocal booth or an isolation booth for amps. And we've got 6-7 amps here. We've got a Hughes and Kettner that we're DIing in. And I've got 4 or 5 cabinets with various speakers in them that we wouldn't mind trying to use. And it's, just for different sounds recording. I want to do some recording here eventually. That was the whole point of getting the desk and bringing the iMac up here. I'll probably be using GarageBand for a while. Like I said in the previous video, the introductory video, if you go to my site, everything's pretty much new to me and I'm learning. This is the first time doing a video with voiceover and whatnot, and then bringing in a lot of other things, pictures and things. I haven't gone to any real extent like that before. So I'm learning along the way, and I guess eventually I'll get some programs. I see a lot of people on YouTube like to record dry and then use plugins to get their sounds and all that. We're not really... Well, I don't understand how to do that yet. I'm sure I can learn, but we're more of a, I like the sounds of what comes out of the amps. That's why I have the Dr. Z mic with a Sennheiser that is just one-sided. I can't think of the model number right now, and I don't have the paperwork in front of me. but you know, we buy amps for the clean sound and color our sound with pedals. We feel that method works a lot better than to constantly tweak your amp. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and like I said, I'll be putting up more videos in the future showing equipment, why I did things the way I did. Maybe people can suggest, hey, this will probably work better for you or something, or blah blah blah. Right now it's working okay, and I know it'll be better with time and money, which is the one thing I don't have lots of. So thanks for watching.